Do you sometimes catch yourself talking to yourself about good old days? You talk about how deals were plentiful and how it's not like that anymore. Well, I do catch myself, especially when I dig into those past deals, when I want to use that in my case study like this one. For example, I can't believe I bought this self-storage facility, which you'll see on the screen, for $35 a foot in Machesney Park. It was almost 3 years ago, and it seems like these prices don't exist anymore. Well, those good old days, right? So before we dig in, let me share a quick story. A few years back, we had a mastermind with my real estate friends. One of our guys invited a mentor who was one of the largest landlords in Chicago. We did use an opportunity, of course, to ask many questions about real estate and business in general. And one of the questions was, when do you think is a good time to buy? And I recall a very brilliant answer. And he said like that, the best time to buy was 20 years ago. Now, do you know what's the second best? And we had no answers, silence, and then he goes, it's right now. And this stuck with me for the rest of my life. And I'll come back to this in my takeaway section. So let's go back right now to the deal. We bought budget storage facility on December 31st, 2021 for $750. It was 21,720 square feet on a 1.52 acre site. It had 103 units and it was 99% occupied. Total gross income was $72,000. With $40,000 in NOI. It was mom and pop business run by Vic and her husband, very great people. The facility was well kept. It was built in 2000s and rents were way below market. They had no website, no software management system, and no online marketing. Also, they had a full-time on-site person, so their OpEx was through the roof pretty much. Now, I underwrote that we'll get NOI to approximately $99,000, which will yield more or less $1.3 million in value at 7.5% cap in less than 2 years. Back then, one of our underwriting rules was that if we jumped on a deal, we must have a way to add at least $500,000 in value. We would do this through renovation, improving occupancy, and getting to the market rents. So it seemed like it's light and straightforward deal, so I said, let's go. The goal was to do this in 12 months or less, and here's the improvements we ended up doing. We installed automatic gates. We implemented storage software system to automate payments and collections. We built a website, Google My Business page, and Facebook pages. Also, we set up Google paid ads and spare food leads. We removed on-site person and set up remote management system. We hired a maintenance person who comes 1-2 times per week for $800 to $1,000 per month total. Also, we sealed the asphalt. We installed additional cameras. We added solar-powered lights. We replaced locks with DaVinci locks, which integrates with your software, so we can have automatic pretty much codes through the system. Also, we added an extra 2,400 square feet of portable units, which we bought them pretty much at $27 per square foot with delivery, which is really cheaper than our base acquisition price. Now, initially we had only $50,000 in repairs that we estimated, but we ended up doing more than expected and spent almost $100,000. The jump in CapEx was because of the extra square footage we decided to add because of the portable units. Now, let's talk about the revenue. When we bought the facility, we had $7,365 per month coming in. In our pro forma, I wrote that we expected to increase to approximately $13,400. The seller at that time was charging $50 to $55 per month for 10 by 10s when the market rate was over $9 per month. So I knew that there was a lot of room for improvement for revenue as long as we're gonna do improvements on the facility. Now, based on these preliminary numbers, I knew that we could almost double the value if we get to the market rates. I'll give you a pro tip here. I made a formula to estimate the future value of self-storage facility for my acquisition managers after improvements. And it really helps acquisition managers to quickly decide whether to continue negotiations with the seller when they're in the conversations about the buying it. So the formula is like that. Market rate of 10 by 10 units in that area divided by a factor 0.000073. So predict the facility's future value, check the price of 10 by 10s in the area, and divide by that factor and you'll get approximate value. Now, it's a very broad range, but it's gonna give you kind of an idea where that facility is gonna land after improvements and after improve the rates of the market. Now, this assuming that improvements are made and market rates are met. So for example, If the seller's price is millions above the estimate, we move on and we don't dig deeper. But if we spot a potential profit of $500,000 or more, we dig deeper in the writing. Let's go back to the deal right now. So we stuck to the plan, we improved the facility and increased the pricing. Now, it's worth mentioning that we made one mistake along the way on this project, which we don't do it anymore. So we started increasing pricing before we 100% complete with improvements. This pissed off our tenants and people, and we had some negative reviews. So right now in the future, we are waiting on our revenue management until we finish the improvements. Then tenants can appreciate improvements and they really push back less on increases. As a result, our monthly revenue increased to $15,556. This was really much higher than we projected initially to $186,000, 669 in our pro forma. So it was a really positive thing. So let's talk about exit. We ended up selling this facility of $1.5 million, which is $61 a foot, at 7% cap in December of 2023. With physical occupancy of 92%, so we left a little bit to the next guy to improve the value. And it really took us 2 years to do this deal. It was pretty light on time and effort, with really no major surprises. Let's talk about takeaways. The first one, we almost always lease for more money than projected. The second one, it almost always takes longer than expected. The third one, we almost always underestimate our CapEx budget. The third one, portable units are really a super hack. They do add new square footage below basis cost. So if you have a self-storage facility where municipality allows to bring them, I think it's a great way to improve the value. And the fifth one about good deals, and coming back to the story I shared in the beginning, there is always going to be a good deals if you believe in a better future where improved buildings command a higher value. So thank you very much for watching. If you liked it, please click the subscribe button. And if you really like it, please share it to your friends so they can subscribe and get the information too. Thank you very much, guys.